In 1963, beneath the lights of the Frankfurt Motor Show, a small, rear-engine sports car quietly stepped into the world. It did not shout, it did not demand attention, but in its silhouette, something unmistakable was born. The Porsche 911 was not just a successor to the 356, it was a blueprint for an idea. Rear engine, sloping roofline, mechanical honesty, a machine that demanded respect and rewarded courage. Through the narrow streets of Stuttgart and the winding passes of the Alps, the early 911 revealed its character. Air-cooled, raw, alive. You didn't simply drive it, you balanced it, you listened to it. Every throttle input mattered, every corner required commitment. And when the Carrera RS arrived in 1973, with its ducktail spoiler and sharper edge, the world understood. This was no ordinary sports car. This was a weapon shaped by racing. Then came the turbocharged years. The 930 did not ask politely. It waited, and then it struck. Boost arrived like a storm, transforming the 911 into something thrilling and slightly dangerous. Wider hips, whale-tail wings, and Autobahn dominance defined an era where excess and performance collided. The 911 was no longer just agile, it was explosive. By the 1990s, refinement entered the picture. The 964 brought all-wheel drive and modern systems, quietly preparing the 911 for a new world. And then, in 1998, the 993 marked the end of air-cooling, the final chapter of a mechanical symphony that had defined the car for over 3 decades. When that last air-cooled engine ticked as it cooled in the fading light, it felt like saying goodbye to an old friend. The arrival of water cooling with the 996 changed everything. Purists questioned it, enthusiasts debated it, but evolution does not wait for approval. The 911 became faster, more stable, more capable, and on racetracks around the world, the GT3 restored faith, screaming to redline, proving that performance still lived at its core. With the 997 and 991 generations, technology accelerated. Dual-clutch gearboxes shifted faster than human hands. Electronics sharpened precision. Turbocharging became the new normal. Yet even as screens replaced gauges and software enhanced speed, the silhouette remained untouched. From a distance, in a single glance, it was still undeniably a 911. The 992 generation pushed boundaries further, wider, stronger, almost clinical in its ability to conquer road and track. Launch control turned physics into spectacle. The GT3 sang to 9,000 revolutions. The Turbo S redefined acceleration. And still, the engine sat behind the rear axle, just as it had in 1963. Then the question emerged, what happens when electricity joins the equation? Hybrid systems arrived not to silence the flat six, but to sharpen it. Electric torque filled the gaps. Regeneration whispered during braking. The 911 adapted once again, proving that identity is not about resisting change, it is about surviving it. By the mid-2030s, the line between combustion and electric blurred. Some models preserved the sound of the past through synthetic fuels. Others embraced near-silent performance. And eventually, the fully electric 911 stood where the first ones did, under lights, before an audience, carrying the same unmistakable outline into a different era. And here, in 2050, whether powered by fuel, electricity, or something yet to be imagined, the shape remains. The rear arches, the descending roofline, the stance that feels ready, even at rest. For nearly 89 years, the Porsche 911 has evolved through regulation, revolution, controversy, and innovation. Air-cooled to water-cooled, naturally aspirated to turbocharged, analog to digital, combustion to electric. Yet through it all, one thing has never changed. It is still a 911.
And perhaps that is the real story, not of a car that resisted the future, but of one that carried its past with it every step of the way.